Hey everybody, welcome back. I've got two 32nd scale Porsche kits here, or Porsche, however you may say it. These both came from my friend Paul Olson. He sent me a gift box with these, and they are too cool. Palmer and an MPC, Porsche 904 and a Porsche 917. And I looked on ScaleMates and got some dates on these things, and I'll open them up here in a second and show them to you. But first, let's look at what ScaleMates says, if we can get her to focus on the ScaleMates, which of course it's not, but okay, good enough. So Porsche 904 GTS 32nd scale, 1969 is what this kit is. It says new parts, has a rigid box top opener. What's interesting is when you look at the history of these kits, this one originally came out in 1964. New tool by Palmer Plastics. 65 new parts. 66 had some new parts. And then the kit that I have, 1969, has new parts. They also had another variation. It was called the Riders or something like that. I think it must have used the body of the Porsche, but it had like this big exaggerated engine sticking out the back. And then in 74 it went to Winneco right there. They started to put them. I never even heard of that company, but they had the Porsche in a new box, and that was 1974. And I guess also around the same time they did the same, reboxed the same Riders kit, or so it's Low Riders. I'm sorry, I couldn't see the dark, the LO, the Low Riders kit. So they both had it, and so that's the Palmer kit. And on the MPC, this is even more interesting. This kit is 1970 something. I think it's like 1979 ish. That's when this one came out. But when you look at the timeline, it was an Airfix kit. So it started life as in 1973 as Airfix. They new boxed it in 79, and then EIDAI, that company also had this kit in production. And then you drop on down, which the Airfix continues on to 1998, 1999, and then MPC grabbed that same kit and boxed it here. They had one in the, it's like it has just 1980 something, so I'm assuming early 80s, late 70s for the one that I have. So that's pretty interesting how these companies swapped, used other molds and stuff like that. My friend Ralph from over in Germany, actually, when I opened up when I opened up this and was showing him, he sent me a message, and he said he was pretty sure that was an Airfix kit, and he was right. So that is really cool. So we'll open up these and check out the contents. I've already looked at the Porsche is still in some bags. The MPC, but the Palmer is not, and this is just the coolest stuff to me. Looking at the old box, and I wonder how many hands this has gone through. Kit number 414, chromed accessories, and it was 60 cents back in 1969. And you know, Palmer kits don't have the best of reputation, but I just think that for the sake of history, that they're just so cool, and what a nostalgic type of box art it's got there. Chromed accessories, clear plastic windows, and racing decals. So let's take a look at this thing. And it's I don't think it's ever been started, and the little tires are a little bit worn, or not worn, but old, I guess you would say. There's your instructions. They're nice and yellowed, as an old treasure map would be. Now, this is the coolest stuff. It's like opening up some sort of time capsule, I feel like. And when I say treasure map, it's like, man, it's so neat. It's like I found like the treasure. It's in the box. and this is the map, but Palmer Plastics, Brooklyn, 36, New York. So that is too cool. Here were the what you would call decals. They were stickers. The one on the bottom has been missing. It may be in the box, but Holman Moody and number 8. A few of them are in Champion. But yeah, those are just stickers. Those they call them decals, but didn't they call them decals? Yeah, racing decals. And the body made out of a little bit of a translucent plastic. It's not completely, it's not see-through, but you can see light and stuff through it, so it's pretty neat. Just your typical Palmer kit. It's interesting that some of your Palmer kits did get reused. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, well, I can't speak right now, but I think I have some kits that are under a different name. They may be Palmers, I don't know. But it seemed like there were some Palmers that got swapped around, but not nearly as many, I don't believe, as other manufacturers. Maybe because the quality was lower, and maybe people weren't interested in putting their name on something like this. Like, for instance, that big divot there in front of the air intake and things like that. But just for history's sake, I think that they're super cool. Not a lot of people. Oh man, there's some. Look at this. Okay, so I'm about to show you something that really just excites me, and it's weird to be excited about this, but if you'll see right here, and I just noticed that Porsche is etched in cursive. I don't know if that would have been on the mold. I bet it was, but someone, and it's up front too, etched into that mold Porsche. I mean, that's someone's handwriting from back in '69 or before that, probably, you know, whenever this what was it, '64, when this was originally put out. But I just think stuff like that, that is so interesting to me. And more than likely that's raised. Yeah, so that's raised. So that was engraved into the mold. And forevermore, somebody's handwriting there that worked with Palmer is on that. And I just think it's just the coolest thing. They took a little air, and they like, hey, just so we don't get this confused, write Porsche on the bottom of it. But yeah, that's neat. But it's a neat looking little car. I don't know how well it would build up. You'd have to do quite a bit of cleanup and things like that. But like I say, it's just the nostalgic value of this stuff is just so cool to me. Here's the underside of the chassis, which looks pretty nice. You know, curbside. There's no engine or anything that would be in this car. But that's that. Here's the interior, which looks pretty neat. I think that's pretty cool. Got a few little buttons and stuff in there where the gear, behind where the gear shifter was at, and that's nice. It'll fit right up in here somehow or another. There's some locator pins, if you'll notice, right here and here. Those are locator pins for when you put your. Not only they need to be cleaned up too, but put your interior in it. Oh, excuse me. That was a inward burp that just came out unintentionally. Here's a part that would go, looks like, either in the front or the back. Probably the front here. Go right there. It's got your locator pins in place so you can easily align that stuff. There's some kind of little plate that I'm not sure where that would go. This is your rear of the body, so that would attach right there where that opening is. And then you got the little windshield super thick, but yeah, there it is. Windshield scratched up, but that would buff right out. That kind of stuff's no problem. Here's your dash, top of the dashboard, inner wheels, steering wheel here, and some other panels under the doors. That's where those would go. Right up under here, just like that. And then the oh, there's that one sticker that came off. That was just some sort of pinstripe. And here's the tires. Got fronts and rears, so they're two different sizes. Can hardly make out the tread pattern. There's not much on it. It's somewhat of a racing tire. But yeah, there's your. And then you can see the difference in the sizes. Fronts and rears are different sizes. Really neat. Chrome tree. The chrome is deteriorated and it's showing green through it, but your little wheels, instrument cluster, gear shifter, mirror, your lights, and your some grills and such. Just really neat. Really neat. Something that on down the line, another 30-40 years, you could open up again and say, man, look how far we've come with model technology. And they have. Although some of the same practices, I'm sure, are still practiced today. But 60 cents, a kid could have got this back in 64, 65, 6, 7, 8, 9, and had a lot of fun with it. Built it in an evening with no paint or anything like that, more than likely. But yeah, that's really neat. And then the European Racing Series Porsche 917, the Golf car. I have a story about Golf. Let me tell you what when I see Golf, you know, Golf gas stations, what it reminds me of. Kind of a not the greatest of memories, but so I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before, but I am missing a part of my pointer finger. Yeah, it's missing. How does that have to do with anything related to golf, Matthew? Well, as a kid, my mom had a beauty shop in the little town of Nahunta, where we still live, and after school I would ride my bicycle. I had a bike that we kept there, and I would ride it around. We lived about 5 miles away, but at her shop I would go there in the evenings after school. And this is when movie stores were very popular. You know, you go rent your VHS tapes, and they also started renting video games, you know, like Nintendo games and things like that. Well, I had a game that I'd bought, and they would buy games off of you too, so they could rent them. And I had a game that was the game actually was called Rampage. It was like you could be King Kong, and you would climb the buildings, and you would have to beat the buildings down and all this stuff. It was really ridiculous, but anyway, I had that game. Got on my bike. I was going to go down to the movie store, which was less than a quarter of a mile away. And when I got on my bicycle, I was a bicycle mechanic as a kid. You know, we all worked on our bikes, and we just took the chain guards off. And yeah, you know where I'm going with this. But anyway, took the chain guard off, and you know, we would do all little things with our bikes. But as I'm crossing the street, the golf station, my mom's, this is the road, right? My mom's beauty shop's here. The golf station's across the road here, just across the street. And I guess I was going to ride over. The guy that was working, his name was Mike, or is Mike. And I just spoke to him the other day. I said, hey, you remember me? He's like, oh, how could I forget? But I was riding my bike across the street. As I started to make my way, I noticed that the rear tire was making a loud popping sound, like the bearings were just about to come out. I realized the chain was extremely tight. I had over tightened the chain like major. So with the game in one hand, and I'm steering my bike and I'm crossing the street, I reached down just to touch the chain to see how tight it was. And accidentally, did I roll my finger right up into the sprocket. Pew. And that's as I'm riding into the parking lot of the Gulf station. And yep, as soon as I snatched, because I felt pain, there went my finger. And I ran into the station where Mike was. He was it was a full service station. He would actually put the gas in the car for you, check your oil. I ran in there with my hand covered in blood, and it looked awful and scared him completely to death. I didn't know what to do. I was just a little kid. I ran over there, realized he didn't know what to do either. He just got on the telephone and started dialing the number of the owner, like, what do I do? So I took off running back into my mom's beauty shop, scared her to death. She had a lady in a perm. I think she was rolling up the perm rods or something like that. And when I ran in screaming with a bloody hand, she ran out and left me in there with them. And she didn't know what to do either. So then she came back, got her bearings, came back in, wrapped my hand in a towel, and then I got to ride with my mother for about 25 miles at 100 miles an hour, running all the red lights and everything else. She was taking me to the emergency room. So that's what I think about when I see Gulf. Thanks, Matthew. Yeah, it's something. But yeah, I'm missing part of my finger. It's not there anymore, thanks to that tight bicycle chain and the game rampage. Nothing to do with the Gulf station, though. The Gulf station didn't do anything wrong. But yeah, that's why I'm missing my finger. Part of my finger. Alright, so with all the gory details out of the way, let's check out the European Racing Series Porsche 917 by MPC. Actually, an Airfix kit in 1/32 scale. So this has, there's your some non-toxic model cement. It's called No Tox. That probably didn't work out very well. The sleek, swift Porsche 917, formidable racing star, perfectly detailed in 1/32 scale. Disc brakes, bucket seat. Look at that seat. Wouldn't you like to ride a 24 hours of Le Mans with that? And the back of it looks more like a trailer that you would pull behind your car, but that is the back end of the car. And yeah, kit 2-1012-125. I think that would be, as many people have said, that's probably the price, $1.25 for this model kit. But yeah, paint to match, illustrations available at your dealer. Cement not included, and it was made in the USA. So let's check it out. Not near as much yellowing on this one. Gave it about 10 years to the Palmer. A little newer. Much bigger instruction sheet here. MPC made in Mount Clemens, Michigan. So there's all your, a lot more parts to this one, a lot more details. Very neat. Even has a little driver, I think. So cool. And here, if you're interested in some MPC No Tox, there's the little pamphlet. And let's get right into it. Okay, yeah, I remember opening this. Okay, the bag is open because I think I stuck the glass in place. All right, so here's your cool little 32nd scale 917 Porsche body with the glass popped into place. Looks really neat. Again, an Airfix kit, not a MPC mold, but an Airfix mold. I don't know if they were any better or not, but this looks pretty nice. Looks pretty nice. I like it. This had decals. I don't think they're any good, but there's your Gulf, Team Gulf, and the Gulf sign symbol. That's nice. MPC decals. Got some, I can't read those. I can't read them. I don't know. Maybe you can see it on the TV a little bit better than you can see it through my glasses. But yeah, there's that. Here's the engine, or the top part of the engine, I believe, where the fan would mount right there. And the parts. It's got plastic tires. It doesn't have rubber tires. And I think those are, okay, there's two pieces. So the the wheel and the tire outside of the tire is one piece. And then that goes into the, it does have Firestone, however. I don't know if you can see that or not. Try to shield it a little bit. Nah, you may not can see it, but on the white there it says Firestone. And that fits in there, makes a nice little racing tire. Here's the chassis. Just simplistic, flat. I mean, it would have been that way more than likely for aerodynamic reasons. This would have been probably hidden anyway because of the interior and all that stuff. Yeah, and then the engine mounts up under the back here. Here are, okay, what is this for? Oh, those are your headlight lenses. So here's your headlight lens covers, your lights. So those would mount right on the headlights. That's nice. Looks good. Here's the little driver. He's all ready to go. Got his full face helmet on. He's been in a bad accident. Both arms are off. Seat, that is awful. There's hardly any back support at all in that thing. Or maybe it goes like that. No, I think that's the way it would go. Man, I don't know how comfortable that would be for very long. There's your front spindles. Interesting that those would be separate. And it's like the rear part of the car right here. And your brake rotors and calipers, which, to be honest, those look really neat. That's cool. That's nice detail for such a small little car. A couple other pieces. There's, okay, so this rear spoiler would mount right in the center back here of the body. One wheel still attached. There's your steering wheel and your dash. There's your little wraparound dash board. And I don't know what these are, some sort of wheel hubs or something like that. Here's some suspension arms. Both of these are off, but they are in there. And then there is your transaxle. I think some more, probably front suspension maybe. There's your cooling fan. The back side of the transaxle. More suspension parts, front or rear with the springs. Suspension parts. And I guess that may be a firewall. I guess that's the firewall for the rear, possibly. And then it also has, look at that, wheel nuts. So your single wheel nut right there. That's nice. Cool little parts there. That is really neat. But yeah, they're super simple. But yet, I mean, just the coolest stuff. And I love this. I love these little 30-second scale kits like this. I like to build the 30-second scale stuff too. I think it's pretty fun to build those little miniatures. And I heard a guy at the Clemens, North Carolina, the CKM Summer Classic show, that the last show that I went to. And I heard him over, he was speaking to another man, and I butted into the conversation, wanted to know what he meant. But he said he didn't think 30-second scale was considered small scale. Most of your small scale stuff, I think 30-second does fit into that. But he was talking, he said he felt like 30-second scale shouldn't be in small scale because it's not that much smaller than 1/25. I do have a 917 somewhere up there floating around. Same, I don't see it right now as I'm speaking, but anyway, I do have a 917. I think it was might have been a Heller kit that was boxed by Testers. Where is that thing? Huh. Where did it go? I don't know. That's a good question, Matthew. Where is it? But anyway, there it is. Porsche 917 1/24 scale. I would take it out and show you the difference in 1/24 and 1/32. I would say, yeah, I think these are small scale. But anyway, he was saying that, you know, I said, what do you consider small scale? He said 1/87th. I'm like, wow, that's like HO scale stuff, I believe. But he was talking about, he showed me a picture of a little car and it was beside a quarter, and it was a small scale. I can promise you that. But these do qualify as small scale when you go to a model show, 1/32. But I do like to build them. I think they're neat. I mean, what I've built is like the old Model T, and it seems like I built something else. I don't know. I got some other stuff around here somewhere. I forget what and all I've built, but anyway, I have built I guess this would qualify as small scale. This was a Renoir 1/48 scale Corvette that I built. That's pretty cool. This kit's from like 1965, and I got a ton of them. But yeah, that's pretty cool. But so yeah, I guess in yeah, that is a lot smaller. So yeah, I guess I would have to agree that maybe they're not, maybe they shouldn't be in small scale. But anyway, regardless of the fact, they are. Okay. Anyway, and this video is not about you, little Corvette. Get you out of here. One other thing before I leave, I want to remind you guys about the Acme Southern Nationals 2023 will be happening in Cartersville, Georgia on October 27th and 28th. The show is on the 28th. The model show is, but anyway, Alpharetta is where they're, if you want to be a vendor, and if you want to see this stuff, you can stop it on your TV and read it. But yes, in Cartersville this year, not in Marietta or Smyrna, not Smyrna, Smyrna. But you can also go to Acme, www.acme-ipms.com and get some information on that. It's going to be the Clarence Brown Convention Center. And they say it's going to be super nice. And if you would like a copy of this flyer, Acme sent me a whole bunch of them. And I don't know how many shows I'm going to. They sent them to me to place at a show. I don't know if I'm going to be at a show or not. But if you're going to go to Acme and need one of these, not just not just to send it to you so you can hang it on the wall or just have one, but if you're really going to Acme and you'd like a flyer, I wouldn't mind mailing you one. But just please, I don't want to just start mailing them to everybody that just asked for them because you want a flyer. But and I want some left over, so if I do attend another show before, actually, I am going to attend another show. Never mind. I could probably get more flyers. But yeah, if you're interested in a flyer, I don't mind sending you one. But please, don't just well, that sounds really rude, Matthew. I don't mean to be rude, but I'm saying I don't only have a certain amount, and I don't want to send out 50 flyers to just people that just aren't going to go. So if you really need one, but more than likely you just pause the thing. I can email you one too. I can scan it and email you. How about that? If you want a flyer, let me know. I'll scan it and email it to you, and that'll save me on a stamp and save you from having to wait. So yeah, if you want a copy of this, I don't mind at all scanning and emailing you that flyer. So just reach out to me in my email and I'll do that for you. All right, well, I got thinking I'm going to be at a show. I'm going to be in the let me pull this out too while I'm doing shows. I'm going to be my plan is October the 14th 2023 to be at North Charleston, South Carolina. Love to see you there doing the Charleston. The theme build for the cars is 90s. I've already got my one built. It's the Volkswagen Beetle that I built, the 98 Volkswagen Beetle. It's going to be 8:30 to 11 as registration, judging noon to 1, awards 2 p.m. and all the other information you want to know is right there. And here is that address, North Charleston, South Carolina. I think I'll drive about 3.5 hours to get there. And we'll have Ken Menard's famous hot dogs. So they got lunch too. Anyway, here are the automotive. Hey, if you want a copy of this one, email me. I'll send you a copy of this one too. Automotive, got all these classes here. So take a look at that. They have youth and juniors, dioramas. Then they also have non-automotive. Who cares about that? I'm just joking. You want to see the non-automotive stuff, they have, hey, the airplane and armor and all those guys. Wow, the detail that they go to is amazing. There's your automotive, the 90s, any car, truck, motorcycle, race car. Non-automotive, Pride of South Carolina is the theme. Any model with South Carolina history or heritage. And sci-fi is any science fiction model from movies or TV, includes Gundams. So you guys plan. Why don't you come see us? And that was my very first show that I attended, and I had so much fun. I made it a point. I'm gonna try to make this show every year, and the people there are great, and I got to know some of them because of that very first show, and I can't wait to see them again. But anyway, those are 2 shows that I look forward to being at, so I'll take those flyers that I got from Acme, and I'll take them here, and then they'll have that information if I don't go to another show before then. There is a show on September the 30th in Statesville, North Carolina, that's still up in the air. I don't know if I'll be able to make that one or not. I don't have a flyer for that show, but I did find some information on Facebook. If you know any more information about that show, Statesville, North Carolina, September the 30th, let me know about it. But I may have other plans that are already kind of conflicting with that. Not sure. So I'll know when that time comes. But anyway, North Charleston, South Carolina, Cartersville, Georgia, just north of Atlanta. You don't want to miss the Southern Nationals Acme. It's an amazing, amazing show. All right, guys, I'm done. Thanks for watching, and I hope you like these 2 old girls, cars, the Palmer Porsche 904 and the MPC / Airfix Porsche 917. Very cool. Remember Gulf. Every time you hear Gulf now, remember what it reminds me of. All right, guys. Hey, take care. Don't forget to go check out hobbynutmodels.com. Linked in the description of the video. Grab yourself some great paints, a model kit, anything model related. Mark's got it over there. Go check it out. Click that link in the description. If you use that link and you make a purchase, I'll get a little something, and I'd appreciate that. Spring Store, Patreon. Thank you to my Patreon supporters, and most importantly, guys, you that watch these videos, I am so grateful. Take care, and we'll see you real soon on another one. All right, guys. Bye.